It's Code Red, Code Red, Code Red. We're going to talk some Commanders and Titans coming up next.
Woo! What is good? What's cracking, everybody? Welcome to the show. It is Thursday night, October 6th, and we are live previewing the Commanders versus Titans on Sunday at FedEx Field. That was Phil on the intro. I'm your boy, Steve, and we got Dev in the house tonight. Hey, tonight we have a special guest lined up for y'all. His name, one of the best Titans podcasters out there. Let's welcome him to the show. Mr. Titan. What's up, brother? Thanks for joining.
I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah.
What's up? Ready to do this, man.
Let's go. So first and foremost, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. And we have a couple people in the chat already. Jimmy, Yam, thank you for joining. What up? Finally good you can join us, Jimmy. I know you missed the last couple ones. And Yam in Japan, thanks for popping in. 8:45 our time. Okay, glad you could join us. Yeah. He says boo. I mean welcome. Yeah. All right, so Mr. Titan, like we have everyone on this show, first and foremost, we want to say thanks for joining. And what we like to do, regardless of where you come from, whether you're a Washington fan or a Titans fan, we just want to know how you became a fan of your team. So give us the rundown, brother. How did you become a Titans fan?
It's pretty simple, man. Started watching football basically around '99, and my dad was a big Dolphins fan, but I grew up with Dan Marino, like Dan Marino, but kind of wanted to do my own thing, and started watching Steve McNair, Eddie George, and then the rest is history, man. Just followed them ever since. And the funny part about that is that after the Super Bowl run, they had a couple times they were consistently playing good, but after that, they were terrible. I was like, man, maybe I picked the wrong team, but I stuck with them. Even the 2-4, 14 seasons and stuff, I still stuck with them. So,
yeah, they have some good history. I still remember the Frank Wycheck backwards pass, side pass, whatever you want to call it.
The supposedly the lateral, yeah.
Former Redskin tight end, by the way, Frank Wycheck.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, lots of respect for the Titans over the years. I mean, clearly, derived from Houston, the old Oilers. But Steve McNair is one of my favorite quarterbacks to play of all time. Love Steve McNair. So
Corn State's finest.
Eddie George. They had a lot of good players roll through Tennessee, man.
Yeah, I mean, you had you also had I had him on the show not too long ago too. Is Brian Orakpo. Brian Orakpo played for you guys too.
Oh,
you know what? I was gonna wait till later. But let's talk about Brian Orakpo real quick, man. Give us the rundown. And for those who are watching, you can find the link to Mr. Titan's YouTube channel down in the description of this video on YouTube. So please go like and subscribe to his channel. But yeah, I saw you had a Brian Orakpo video on your channel. So give us a quick rundown, man. What was it like talking to him, and did he talk to you about his time in Washington?
He talked a little bit about Washington. Actually, I met him in person before doing the interview and stuff because he lives obviously in Austin. I live in Dallas, which is what's up, Bryce?
Yeah,
which is like about 2.5 hours, 3 hours from Dallas, and he opened up a wellness center. So I wanted to check it out and just talk to him, shoot the shit, and real nice guy, real low key. Like I said, love this time obviously in Texas, love this time in Washington, but overall. You would expect such a big player like that, and like he has such a deep voice, he looks like a monster, and he's super down to earth and willing to give his time. So,
and if I'm not mistaken, I believe he owns a cupcake business. If I'm not mistaken,
he does. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. The spot was in Austin was the cupcake guys with Michael Griffin.
He's a UT guy. That's right, Texas.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. So those UT guys stick together. and I had both of them on the show, different times. But he had that cupcake business, and then he went on to do the wellness center, and now talking to him, he was going to do things like the pro gaming with Jamal Charles and stuff. You guys remember from Chiefs and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So those UT guys, man, they stick together. So so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what's up. Okay.
Awesome.
Well, let's talk some football now. So we got your fan story, a little bit of background on your channel. Just give us a quick rundown, like in your words. Who are the 2022 Titans? What's their identity? What are they striving for? What are they trying to be?
We don't know yet, man. This team is still they don't have their identity fully. Obviously, we're a run first type of team, but at the same time, man, this team has from the beginning, the first half played really, really good football. Looks like a top 10 football team. And then it comes to right after halftime, they go into that second half, and it looks like a high school football team. They don't know what they're doing. It's the weirdest thing. And I would say this for the Commanders. I mean, if you guys play really, really good football the second half of after halftime, then you guys have a chance, because the Titans apparently don't show up. The points that we put up in the first half is the only points we score in the first half. Other than that, we've been outscored 63-7 after the second half.
We are the opposite
terrible.
of that. We're the opposite.
Oh, really?
This is like the dichotomy bowl.
Yes, it is. I was going to bring that up. You guys, I think 64-7 for you guys in your second half, and for us, it's 58-7 is the inverse for us
in the first half.
So yeah, this could be. I think it might be a very balanced game. If your first half is the way our first half is, second half is who knows, man? It's scary.
And that's the thing with these two teams, man. You never know, what can come up. I mean, on the stats say that the Titans are supposed to beat the Commanders, but that never happens. In football, I mean, it's any given Sunday, right? Like any team that shows up, anyone can win in this league, and the Titans have a tendency of losing. I mean, winning the games they're supposed to lose and losing to the games they're supposed to win. So it's kind of like it's a toss-up still. So
yeah, fair.
So here's my question for you, because and I'll be honest with you, at the beginning of the playoffs last year, I came on this podcast and said the Titans are going to win the Super Bowl.
You sure did.
I went down. Okay, so my son's a trader. He skipped out when the team changed the name, and he went and became a Titans fan because, like me, we both love the city of Nashville.
Oh.
And he liked Nashville so much he decided to adopt their team. So one thing I have noticed this season is that the Titans have some difficulty stopping the run and running the ball. Two things they did really well last year. What seems to be the difference between the two? What's caused this to go from the strengths of the team to now being a liability?
I would have to say it's off-season moves, and the surprising thing about that is that last game against the Colts, it was the total opposite. Like you said, we actually ran the ball really good. Derrick Henry had his first 100-yard game, and we actually stopped Jonathan Taylor. I mean, he only, I think, had like 42 rushing yards, and they had like 13 carries, which is good for Jonathan, for him. But at the same time, I believe it's the offensive line. We lost a lot of key pieces. There wasn't too much in the offseason, any pickups. Offensive line was still struggling. And I think that's the biggest point. And then for the run defense, we lost Harold Landry right before the season started, a big blow to our defense. And injuries. We've been plagued by injuries last year. We're the most injured team on the NFL. I mean, we made it work, but it's still like carrying on to this season as well as just the injuries and stuff like that. And you're right on the run defense. Our run defense isn't the greatest. Yeah, we played really good and the other game, last game, but it's questionable still. I mean, you have to be consistent for me to be like, yeah, our run defense is good. So it's questionable.
Yeah, and I was going to say, because I got stats pulled up here for me to refer to, but I was looking over team stats before, and it's not like their teams are just absolutely gashing. I mean, they are averaging almost 120 yards a game, but it's under 120 yards.
Mm-hmm.
But teams are averaging almost 5 yards a carry,
Yep.
which is what kind of surprised me. But they've only got 98 rushes on the season. And I know some of that's probably playing teams like Buffalo will do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I was kind of looking through it all, and I was like, you would expect Derrick Henry to be more than just trending to be over 1,000 yards. I mean, you would expect him to be averaging 80, 90, 100 yards a game. And right now he's at about 76. Is he at 100% yet, or does he still seem like he's?
I think he's good. It's Derrick Henry takes a little bit longer to get going. He starts heating up towards like November. I mean, it's not the greatest. He does have
last year.
Yeah, I mean, last year he was just going off. But for the most part, Derrick Henry wise, I think he was. I don't think he was healthy last year's playoff game. I don't think he wasn't himself at all, and you could tell just him just breaking through the line of scrimmage. He just didn't have that pop. He didn't have that. So I think he's all right. I think again, it also he's been in the league for that long. Everyone knows, right? When you play the Titans, you got to stop Derrick Henry. I mean, there's no one else on the offense that scares anyone. So I think teams have found a way to tackle him. They know what to do. They know not to try to tackle him high because they're gonna get stiff arm. And I think that's, for the most part, I think that was the reason, because everyone's like, oh, man, he's been getting hit more behind the line of scrimmage. Has to do with offensive line. Has to do with them tackling, too. They know how to tackle him now. They're going for his legs. They're not trying to go, high.
It's funny. I feel like the Titans offense from the last 3 years is the way what we know as the former Redskins offense used to be. Hard, smash mouth. We're going to beat you on the ground. You know it's coming, and you can't stop it. That's how the Washington offense used to be over the years. And as the league evolved, the team has evolved, but you don't see too many teams like this in the league. I think it's kind of cool. It's kind of refreshing to see a team that still pounds the rock, because you just don't see it anymore.
Not against us, it ain't. It's not against
us. Yeah.
Everybody throws the ball because they can't run it against us.
Yeah.
So I guess my next question is how long should we expect to see Ryan Tannehill in this game before Malik Willis comes in?
I don't want to see that.
I say we'll give him a year. I'm excited to see Malik, but I think Malik needs to be like a sponge, absorb everything, and just because for some reason the Tennessee Titans have a tendency of like throwing out our quarterbacks, when they're not ready, not yet. I think to let Ryan Tannehill play. Let's see how he does. Again, Ryan Tannehill to me still hasn't proven anything to me. Playoff stats, he's good to get you 9 or 10 wins in the season, but I mean it all changes when you get into the playoffs, and his playoff statistics right now aren't the prettiest. So once he proves that, then I'm good to go. But I would just say give him a year. Give him a year.
Yeah. You got some injury for the injury report that came out today. I'll just flash it on the screen. We have, for those listening in the audio crowd, I'll just read this list and see if Alec can give us a rundown. Torrey Carter, fullback limited. Amani Hooker, safety limited. Ugo Amadi, safety full practice. And then I'm not even going to pronounce this guy's last name. Adenal, last name, defensive end, DNP. Okay. Treylon Burks didn't play, wide receiver. Big boy. Zach Cunningham, outside linebacker, didn't play. Bud Dupree, defensive end, didn't play. Joseph Jones, outside linebacker, didn't play. So of these injuries, particularly of the guys that didn't play, I mean, what does this mean? I've been hearing some rumors that Treylon Burks might not play at all this weekend.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to play. Yeah, he got injured. He had turf toe last game against the Colts, and he was carted out. I don't think so, especially since we have a bye week next week. So he's not going to be playing. Tony Carter being limited. He played last week's game, Armani Hooker would be a really big, especially being our secondary is kind of thin. Armani Hooker would be a really big loss. Also, Zach Cunningham, being an inside linebacker. Bud Dupree was out the whole Colts game with a hip injury. I'm assuming he's not going to be playing. But out of all those, I would say the Armani Hooker and Zach Cunningham for defense-wise.
Yeah, that's fair. Jimmy says, "What happened to Steve's voice?" I don't know. Maybe I grew up overnight. I'm not sure what you mean, Jimmy. You might have to. You haven't been on here so long, so I don't know. Yam said, "Wait, Phil's son doesn't care about the Oilers Titans name change."
My son was born in 05. He does not know the Oilers.
Oh no, yeah, he's been in the Vince Young era, Chris Johnson style. Nice.
Yeah, but he didn't switch. My son was born the Friday before the Monday Night Miracle when we beat Dallas. He was in until the name changed, and he just like I can't do it. And I'm like,
hey, tell your son to subscribe to my channel. You got it.
I was actually at that game versus the when we were the Redskins. Whenever Chris Johnson made that shake move on Bakari Rambo and was gone like 1,000,000 yards, I was actually at that game, the Pat White special in overtime.
Pat White, that's right.
Yeah, preseason game.
And I've seen the Titans play because I went down to the Miami game last year, right after New Year's, and I watched that. And that's actually why I came back and I said Titans are winning the Super Bowl. That's
nice. One of the nicest stadium experience, though. I'm going to give.
I'll give you all that. I'll give you that. That it's a hell of a stadium experience.
That's different. I like the stadium. I just think it's very bland.
It is. It's old fashioned in comparison to other stadiums, but I think that's the hokiness of it all. I think that's what makes it. It's the alluring thing. It's
a very college atmosphere.
When you went, did you see like the stage where they have like the Grand Ole Opry people perform? Did they have any performers when you went?
Are you talking to me or Phil?
Yeah, you, Mr. Titan.
Oh, me. No, they didn't. I went to the Monday night Buffalo game.
Oh.
I did the home opener. And then for this year, I was at the home opener against the Giants. They had 3-6 Mafia, so there you go.
I don't know how you had to play 3-6.
Yeah, exactly. So
they sang Chicken Head?
No, they didn't. They have so we have our own Who Run It. That's the song they were singing. That's kind of our theme song now. Okay. They're kind of changing it, so it was cool.
Yeah. What is the Titans mascot?
It's a raccoon.
A raccoon.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, it's the state animal. So yeah.
A state animal is a trash panda.
yeah.
So
right.
So they're gonna be the Tennessee Trash Pandas.
TTP.
Awesome. Wow.
Yeah. I don't know if you know this, but we've gone through identity rebrand, and we're now at the point where we're trying to figure out who our mascot is, and it's narrowed down between a dog, and a what is it, a historical figure, or is that the two that we're down to now? I believe.
All I'm saying is,
or a hog. I'm sorry, a hog or a dog.
All I'm saying is you can't beat the Raccoons. Raccoons is better than Commanders, bro.
Yeah, how do you guys feel about that?
Raccoons is better than Commanders. That's how I feel about it. That's an obvious answer there.
Yeah, no, it's our name.
Can we call y'all the Coons for short, or is it too early?
That's not gonna fly, Dev. No. Not down there.
I don't know. I don't even know.
I don't really care about the Commanders. I was indifferent to the name. Phil will tell you. I think a lot of people wanted Red Wolves. Phil doesn't think that's the case.
I would have joined my son if that had
happened. But yeah, the name is what it is. Everyone has their different opinions. I don't care what the name is. They're the Commanders, so I'm
Tennessee Trash Pandas is awesome.
Trash Pandas. Hey, Marcus, welcome to the show. Marcus Edlin says, "What's up? Welcome, Mr. Titan." Go check Marcus out on Facebook. His group is Sports Group View 2. Go give him a check out. So let's move on to this next thing. So, who should we be watching on the offensive side of the ball and then the defensive side of the ball? And then we'll go ahead and give you maybe some counter matchups to those as well.
I think the most important thing, I think it's the defense. The defense has been, playing a lot better than the offense, turning turnovers and stuff. I would say Danico Autry. We had a couple sacks against Matt Ryan, and I think Carson Wentz. You guys lead the NFL with the most sacks, right?
But
17?
nine came against the Eagles, so it's a little skewed.
It's a little skewed because it's early in the season, and because otherwise, I think it's like 2 or 3. To give up a game, which is still more than you want. But
you gave up 9 sacks. I mean, you shouldn't in the game, but,
right? Yeah.
But yeah, so I think Danico Autry is someone to look forward and to keep an eye on. Big Jeff obviously is another up and coming defensive lineman that's really, really good. But that our front is it's a solid.
Yeah, we have some history with a great Tennessee defensive front player, and old Mr. Albert Hainsworth, who came from Tennessee and over to Washington.
Yeah,
I talked to him a couple times too. He's interesting.
Did you really? I gotta go check that out.
I'm telling him, if you talk to him, I'm Team Hainsworth. I'm not Team Shanahan, bro. I'm Team Hainsworth, man. I get it. I get it, bro.
A 4-3 DT defensive tackle and a 3-4, and man, he has so much potential.
You pay a dude $100 million, man. You let him do with $100 million shit. You don't make him
Wait, was it in Washington where he left in like the middle of the game, right? Was it him?
He left, but he laid down.
He laid down, and after a play, he laid down and didn't get up till that's it.
He laid down, just watched Michael Vick dance around for about an hour.
Yeah, you have a question for you from, like you said, it was Bryce up tight in the checkup. So, hey, put your question in the chat, man. We'll get it out to him. Marcus says Simmons is an underrated player, and Aaron says the Titans struggle against the run, and that's kind of been our strong suit lately. Is the run, believe it or not, which is kind of crazy.
Haven't used it.
Well, and that's the thing with the teams. The only team that actually, continue the run, and was the Giants, and look what happened with Barkley. So, like I said, I don't think the Bills, they didn't need a run. They were throwing it everywhere. They could do whatever they wanted with the Titans. But I think for you guys, like offensive wise, I think keep sticking to the run, and eventually the holes will start showing. I think so. And they're both right. Simmons is an underrated player, and Titans struggle against the run.
Yeah. I will note that and you're probably not familiar with this because this is more of a local story to the team, but our rookie running back should be making his debut. He got shot during the preseason.
Yep, he's coming back.
Okay, yeah, so y'all are aware.
Yeah.
The kid's no joke though, as a running back. So he's a power back. As well, which gives our offense something different that it does not have. Okay. And we're interested to see what they do with it. Baby
Henry versus Big Henry.
Yeah.
We're interested to see what our offensive coordinator, our intrepid idiot, will do with this guy. If his lack of commitment to the run game is because he's all in on Brian Robinson. We'll see.
Yeah, if a bullet can't stop him or 3 bullets can't stop him, what's a defensive tackle going to do? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's nothing.
That's facts right there, man.
Small potatoes.
Right.
Yeah, but I'll turn it over to Dev or Phil. I mean, is there any particular matchups? I know we're kind of talking about it, but anything you want to pick out that you think that, we need to be looking out for as far as matchups from our side of the ball going on to their side of the ball?
I think obviously the one that everyone's scared of is Derrick Henry and the play action off of Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
I think that is once you get him lathered up, so to say, it's hard to, to not play too high safety. You have to go single high safety on those guys most of the game. There's a lot of pressure on somebody like McCain, and there's also a lot of pressure for guys like Holcomb and Jamin to carry tight ends and slot receivers over the middle through coverage. So we have to get past. I know that Washington is trying to play this defense where they hit the running back on the way to sack the quarterback. That's what they would like to believe, but it seems like the most effective way to beat Tennessee is maybe get to the quarterback on the way to being disciplined in your run gaps and fits.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's what we do. Stop the run in short.
Yep.
Easier said than done though.
I agree with him on that one. I mean, it's proven time to time with the Titans, especially Tannehill, he struggles mostly when they shut down the run because then it doesn't open up the play action. And he's kind of – you have to have Tannehill beat you over with his hands, and usually it doesn't work out like that. And, again, we don't have a crazy amount of star talent receivers where it kind of scares defenses. I mean, we have Robert Woods.
Here's your question. Yeah, Mr. Titan. What do you think about Robert Woods?
I like Robert Woods. I mean, they just need to get him more involved. Offensive coordinator, they just need to get the wide receivers, more involved early. I don't mind the guy. I mean, coming off an ACL injury, it's pretty detrimental. But I mean, he's done very good so far. I mean, with our wide receiver core being so thin right now, we have Kyle Phillips, who is a rookie 5th rounder coming in, coming back from injury. Treylon Burks getting hurt, so it's just gonna a lot of mix of wide receivers right now. So we'll see what happens.
Right. How do you feel? Excuse me. About this, Marcus said, I think Tennessee got them a potential stud quarterback in Malik Willis. I'm surprised they don't have any offensive packages for him, and I know he's played some spot things here, and I did watch him in the preseason because I'm a huge fan of Malik Willis. You guys think you got him in the 3rd?
I wanted to draft him.
If I'm not mistaken. And Dev wanted to bring him here, out of Liberty. So what's your take on Malik? How do you feel about him?
There's times where I'm like, man, like I don't want him to go out. I'd rather not risk, him getting hurt. But then again, if the offense is struggling, like we talked about before, and you don't put any points in the second half, why not have him come out and do like a wildcat, a 3rd and 1, just to change it up, just to get the defense kind of on their toes. I don't see a problem with that. And at first, like I said, I was stuck with, no, let's just keep him on the sideline. He doesn't need to go out there and risk it. But as the season's gone on, I think, mixing them up in different packages, I don't think it would hurt anyone. I think it would be kind of cool. So.
Right. That's what the Ravens did with Lamar, and they had Flacco. They just brought him in maybe 4 or 5 times a game. They lined him up at wide receiver. He did nothing. Or they ran a wildcat. He didn't really have to throw the ball. And you just start planting that seed.
Just changing the defense. And then guess what? That's another thing the defense has to look at.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm no offensive coordinator, so apparently they know what they're doing. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, because I've heard word out of Titans Twitter, which is an interesting place to be. Almost as interesting as ours, actually. A lot of complaints that they're just not. Now I know he's hurt now, but the utilization of Treylon Burks and a relative lack of it seems to be kind of a main point of concern amongst your fan base. Is that the case? Are they not getting him involved, or is it just the game situation doesn't lend him the opportunity?
So it's a little bit of everything. And let me explain. Treylon Burks has, unfortunately, big shoes to fill. Okay, AJ Brown leaves. He gets traded. Now guess what? Treylon Burks gets picked up. He's the number 1 pick, right? Now everyone's looking at like, okay, how are you going to mirror AJ Brown? That's everyone talks about. AJ Brown, how is he going to do his rookie year? Is he going to be exactly like AJ Brown? Is he going to do better than AJ Brown? Is he going to do less? And it's always going to be talked about. And I talked about this on my show. I said, man, it sucks because, instead of letting him be his own player and let him get into his own shoes, let him he has something to prove against the Titan fans. Has he been involved lately? Yes and no. A lot of people, I don't know about your fan base, but a lot of people in our fan base, man, the guy plays 1 year and they're already saying he's a bust. Like, you can't.
That sounds familiar.
That sounds like Jeremy Davis right there.
Yep.
That's
what we do.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people like to, point the finger at someone already automatically. Some people take longer to develop. Again, every position is different. Every player is different. I think he needs to get more involved. I think they weren't. I think they were trying to let him get his feet wet. I said just to keep giving him the ball. It's the only way he's going to learn. But the problem is that he came in, with a big shadow over A.J. Brown. And everyone, like I said, everyone's trying to compare him to A.J. Brown. And obviously he is not an A.J. Brown. And But
and I've heard a complaint is that they don't try to give him the ball enough.
that's what I'm saying. Like the offensive coordinator wise,
Like I've actually heard it's interesting that you say that because I hadn't seen that. The complaints I'd seen is, hey, this guy's just as good as anyone. Get him the ball, and that it seemed like that was their complaint. Not that he's not AJ Brown. It's like we think he could be AJ Brown. You're not getting him the ball.
Yeah, the offensive coordinator, like I said, the offensive coordinator. Again, every game is the same thing. Everyone wants his head, which I understand. It starts with the offense coordinator. It starts with, but again, the players got to make the play as well. But if you're not giving him the ball and you're giving other receivers that barely were on the team, or it's a wide four, like, and you're getting them the ball and not Treylon Burks, it's different. Like just same thing like last year. Last year it was 3rd down and 3. And they have Julio Jones and AJ Brown on the sideline. Like, why would you do that? Like, even if the ball's not going to them, I mean, it's a decoy. It's Julio Jones. They're gonna pay attention to him. Right. And it's those are the things that get everyone frustrated. And I understand that completely. And so,
yep. Marcus says my nephew's a Titans fan, and he said that he wished the Titans would use Treylon Burks like Deebo Samuel. Do you see those tendencies in him?
I mean. Maybe I haven't seen him yet. I mean, he could be. That's the thing, I maybe he could be. I mean, Debo is a special human being. Like, yeah, it's cool the way they use him and stuff like that. And it depends on the person. I think AJ Brown could have been like that too, as well, like the frame and stuff. But I mean, if they don't try it out, how are we gonna know? That's the
right. Aaron says 3rd downs are going to be key. Get off the field. Can't let them wear us down. So offense would need to show up so Wentz can actually play quarterback and not be a punching bag. And I don't know if you're tracking this, but Wentz has been getting beat up the last, I'd say 2.5 games. 2.5 games. He's taken a pounding. And we were down 3 starting offensive linemen. I don't know what it is today, to be honest with you. Maybe 4. I don't know if it's 2. Okay, we're up to 2. So your matchup that you talked about your defensive front is lining up to be a good matchup against our
3.
Okay, our 3 injured players right now. And our starting right tackle, Sam Cosmi, looks like he's going to be out as well. We're already down a center. I think we're down 2 centers now.
We're down. No, one of the centers is back. Larson is back.
I thought he just got cleared to practice, not to play.
He got cleared off a pup. So he's supposedly, but he's apparently been practicing. So
okay.
But then again, same thing with Brian Robinson and Chase Young. Chase Young's been cleared. Cleared to practice, should say. But here's my question. So the Titans pass rush this year, I know it's been spotty.
Mm-hmm.
What are teams doing to mitigate this pass rush, that has just been fearsome? Now, I know Bud Dupree was injured last game. He's looked like he's going to be injured this game as well. Yeah. And that's besides Simmons, that's your guy. Yeah. That's going to apply the pressure. What are is it just the injuries, or are teams exploiting some kind of tendency that you've seen?
It might be it might be a tendency. It might be a little bit of the injuries as well. Like I said, Harold Landry was a big missing piece that we lost. Bud Dupree also, but it seems like just in general, man, it seems like we just can't stay healthy. We can't stay healthy at all. So it sucks, but I mean that's the game, Yeah,
because I've been calling for us to move the pocket more with our quarterback,
Mm-hmm.
Help out the offensive line. I know everybody says that Carson Wentz is a statue, but if you've seen it when they do move the pocket, he can get outside, and he's mobile enough to do the rollouts, do the naked bootlegs, things like that. And I didn't know if the Titans pass rush was maybe susceptible to things like that, or if they're just misreading RPOs, or whatever the case may be. That's why I was trying to get an idea of how this defense can match up against things we should be doing.
Yeah, well, definitely. I mean, if anything, I would be attacking probably our secondary. Again, we have a couple rookies out there that we're putting in. Roger McCreary is a rookie, but I mean he's playing really, really good ball. But at the same time, I think that's where we're really, really thin. And like I said, injury wise, from the safety positions and stuff like that, our corners.
Yep.
Elijah Molden, I don't think he's going to be playing. So I mean, we're very, very thin. So most of the guys we're bringing in, I know one of our defensive linemen that we're bringing in, like he literally, we just signed him like 2 days ago, and he's going to be playing defense. Like,
No, that
so
feels.
yeah, it's wild. It's wild, man.
One question from the comments, and I'm going to flash something on the screen here. He says, Mr. Titan, does Henry look like the Henry of old? Is he slower or anything? Any differences?
He actually got a lot thinner. I actually know, I know his brother-in-law. He lives over here in Dallas, and we'll go and we'll hang out and stuff. So I usually get a little bit more intel on Derrick Henry. He says he slimmed down and stuff like that. But as of slower, no, he's still the same. It's just people are learning how to tackle him right now. They know where to get him. They know how to stop him. So like I said, everything, once everything's out of the bag, people, I mean, will do what they do.
Man. And you alluded to it earlier, but I'm going to show it now. You said the Titans are severely injured, as are we. But this is a compiled list of all NFL, it's all injuries per team. And that number you see in the parentheses there, that's the total number of injured players. And I will tell you, there's about 4 teams with 24 players, but the Titans are right there at number 2 with 23 total injured players. Browns have 24, Lions have 24, Dolphins have 24, Giants have 23, and okay, Titans have 23, but the list is pretty huge. I mean, it's an extensive list, and this is just this week, and then they count all the people that are injured for the rest of the year or put on the IR and stuff like that. So this is a significant list.
Yeah,
you hit it on the head.
Yeah, man, it's bad. And it happened from last year. Last year, like I said, we were the most injured team in the NFL. And again, there's no excuses. You still got to play. Players got to play. You got to bring in. You got to do what you got to do. But it sucks.
Yep.
I don't know if it's like conditioning or something. I don't know what I mean, I understand concussions. No one can, prevent that. But some of
those soft tissues, those hammies. It's like,
I'm like,
I will tell you, bro. Like in 2019. We held the record. Jay Groom was our coach. Maybe it was 18 for the most players on the injured reserve that year. Actually, for like 3 years in a row. But within, I want to say in 18 or 19, we won training staff of the year. So it's like we win training staff of the year, but we're leading the NFL in players on the IR.
It's because of the sheer amount of volume of work they had to do.
They were just busy. I just thought.
Wait, who had a buttocks injury in there?
Yeah.
Pull that back up.
Oh, we had a buttocks injury? Oh, hold on.
Buttocks injury?
I question the fact that you saw that. That's what I question.
It just it caught me. I was like, what?
Oh, Brian Robinson.
Yeah, he got shot in the buttocks, bro.
I thought I got shot in the leg.
He got shot 3 times. He got shot 3 times, man.
In the buttocks.
They said it was $1 million wound, but I don't think they got any.
Oh man, I thought there were grazed wounds on the thigh. I didn't hear about that.
He got shot directly through the kneecap, bro, and it didn't hit nothing. And he got shot in the butt cheek.
Marcus said, Phil is right. Our coaches should use bootlegs. Samuel and Dotson didn't practice this week. It's up to Diamond Brown and Cam Sims to step up. Yeah, we're going to be down Jahan Dotson. He's our number 2 wide receiver rookie out of Penn State.
Samuel will play. Samuel was sick.
Samuel was sick today.
If Robinson goes to Tennessee and acts a fool and outplays Derrick Henry, they're going to treat that dude like Tupac in Washington, man. I'm telling you that's going to happen. He's going to be Tupac, man. He's going to be a rock star if that happens.
We'll see.
He was already getting that treat. He was already about to get that treatment before.
All right, Mr. Titan, let's go to this one. So, Tennessee wins if
they score any points in the second half. They play exactly how they do the first quarter, how they do the first half. They do the second. They do if they play balanced football. And it sounds really simple and sounds kind of dumb, but if you watch the Titans, like I said, the first half, they play really good, both sides of the ball, even special teams, really good. And the second half, they come out and they look like they do a 180, and you don't know what team this is. So I think that's the case.
That's fair. All right. Phil, what do you got? Washington wins if.
Washington wins if they can commit to a run game. And we saw it against Dallas. We were gashing them, and then we would just go away from it. Commit to a run game, run your pass, and then the passing game has to build off the run game. Our game plans were so separate between the passing game and the run game against Philly and Dallas that we were telegraphing every play before it happened. You knew if Wentz is under center, it's a run play. If Wentz is in shotgun, it's a pass play. And it was the numbers were so staggeringly separate that you're like, this has to be a misprint. And it wasn't. So Washington has to commit to a run game because right now Titans are struggling with stopping the run. And if their secondary is thin, that's when a healthy dose of a run game can open up the play action pass. And we got the receivers who could do it. Yeah, Jahan's out, but we still have Curtis. We still have Terry. We still have, De'Ami Brown, Cam Sims, guys who have, De'Ami Brown hasn't proven anything, but he's a burner. Cam Sims can get open deep. So let's build off of that. Everything has to build off the run game.
Build off the run. Okay. Dev, Washington wins if, bro. What you got?
I'm gonna say the opposite of Mr. Titan. We have to keep the second half intensity in the first half. That's what we need to do, and we do that by doing what Phil said: run the elfin ball as much as you can on early downs. Run the ball to set up short down the distance on third down. It's simple football. It's fundamentals. Keep running even when you can't run. Run some more.
As Miss Tui says on the blind side, run the dang ball.
Yeah,
calling him from the sidelines.
That was a terrible rendition of that, by the way.
It was. I don't have the voices of Miss Tui. You know the deal, though. You know the deal. For me, I kind of play off what Phil and Dev said, but I think you just got to protect Carson Wentz, keep him upright. If he's upright and he has time, he's good, but he's been getting obliterated these last 3 games. And if we can do that, I think we can win. I mean, right now the odds at Vegas opened up at minus 1.5 for Tennessee. So it's a home game in Washington. So they're giving Tennessee 1.5 points spread. So Vegas think it's going to be close, and Vegas kind of knows what they're doing. I mean, you get 3 points for being at home anyway. So I think they think it's going to be a close game. Marcus says Tennessee wins, force Wentz into mistakes and control the clock with Henry. And for Washington, the same gameplay. Scott Turner needs to be calling better plays. Yeah, don't get Phil started, man. You're going to give him an aneurysm.
Week 1's game plan.
Yeah, week 1. So week 1, Alex, we had Curtis Samuel in the backfield. We had Curtis Samuel playing Debo. It was very effective against Jacksonville. And we haven't seen it since. It's like you did game 1, and all of a sudden it's like.
Which thank you, by the way.
Yeah. What do you guys think about Jacksonville? Have you played them yet?
No, not yet. We haven't played them yet. I mean, they look decent. I mean, they've been putting up points. It's a different but we'll see. I mean, Jacksonville sometimes they start off hot and then by the end of the win the first like 4
Jacksonville
games.
going Jacksonville is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Jacksonville is going to Jacksonville.
So we'll see.
Fair.
Jags be jagging.
Thank you for joining, Mr. Attitude Era says Washington wins if we make adjustments. That's true. We haven't been very good.
By the way, Mr. Attitude Era, big fan of the Attitude Era right here.
Is that the WWE thing?
I'm more NWO.
Oh.
97 to 01, baby.
Okay, there you go. A little wrestling knowledge for you. Aaron says protect Wentz, run the ball, get off the field, third downs. Washington wins if Titans not win. Oh yeah, I guess in theory. If we score more points than Tennessee, is that what you're saying, Aaron? We'll win if we score more points. I think that's what you're trying to say. So
water is wet in other news.
Water is wet. That's right. Let's talk predictions for everyone in the video still. If you made it this far, thank you. Drop your predictions in the chat. We talked about this a second ago. The spread right now opening up is minus 1.5 for Tennessee. So, Mr. Titan, I'll start with you. This game is going to be at FedEx Field. Give you some background. especially teams on the East Coast and in the NFC East, tend to show up big in this stadium. You could make an argument that sometimes our home games are kind of like away games. It's 50-50,
Hey, man, I feel the
60-40.
same thing from you, man. I feel the same thing. Don't even.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want
You
you to know.
understand is that it's always people from shittier cities going to better cities where there's more to do. All right. That's why people will go to Tennessee. I went to a Tennessee game and I'm not even a fan. Now, granted, it was my son's Christmas present, but I love Nashville. I've been there 3 times in the past year and a half.
Nashville's fun. Nice little spot.
It's a great city, great city. People are going to travel if there's a place to go. Why do you think Buffalo fans and Pittsburgh fans travel so well? Because there's shitty places to live.
That's a good.
Philly fans are everywhere. Why? Because they need any excuse to get out of Philly. So
I'm gonna go with it's gonna be a close game. I think it's gonna be 24 to like maybe 21. Let's go with that.
I'm going to be in Tennessee this weekend celebrating my girl's birthday, and Tennessee's jumping. Don't get Tennessee. Hey, me and Phil had fun on the night in Tennessee, man. Don't let him fool you, man. Nashville's straight. They got Oktoberfest.
I love Nashville.
Marcus said that's my third city.
We're going to the Van Gogh Museum. They got a like a Delta 9/hemp weed eatery thing down there. We're going to. Hey, Tennessee's popping. Downtown is popping. It's going to be about $45 a part, but
probably nice. Hey, give me a second. I'm gonna get my charger because this thing is gonna die on me.
Fair enough.
Keep going.
Hey, what's the name? They got fucking Coyote Uglies. They got Kid Rock bar down there.
For real, it's the real deal.
Yeah, Tennessee's all right. They got Silverados. Back in the day, when you go to Silverados, you could get shot there if you didn't have the right game going. So, but now, man, Tennessee's dope, man. Don't get it twisted. Nashville's a good city, man.
I love Nashville, man. You can't. You if you say
the roads are crap.
I'm in.
The roads are crap, by the way. Whoever the governor is there, or the whatever state representative, whoever who handles the roads, crap. No, I mean you can say what you want to say about old Turtle Man. You know, you can say what you want to say about our guy, but he's terrible everywhere else. But he makes some damn good streets. I give him that.
Yeah, this is the streets, homie.
Kentucky.
So while we're waiting for
Mr.
Titan to come back, we'll flash a couple of these comments. So Marcus says 24 to 21, Tennessee. Unfortunately, I don't trust our coaches. That's a fair assessment. I can't knock that. Can't knock it at all.
I'm gonna go the opposite of that. I didn't do my prediction yet. I guess I'm going to go the opposite. 24 us, 21 Tennessee. I think that this is the game where our run defense stands up like it has been the last few games, and I think we get a couple of turnovers that dictate the game. I think we're in charge of we control the turnover ratio this game.
Ooh.
So I think this is why we win. I think Wentz and Tannehill are basically the same guy, except Wentz has a little more arm talent. I don't think they're that much different.
Yeah,
and I
Aaron agrees with you.
I think we have more talent on the field in this game, particularly. A lot of it's due to Tennessee being hurt. They have the superior talent in Henry, but I think our collection of more talent is better, on paper at least.
Yeah, and they have a lot of injuries. Like Mr. Titan was saying, their wide receiver core is depleted.
Their offensive line didn't have Taylor Lewan. Like that's a hard one to overcome. Your starting left Pro Bowl tackle. That's hard to it's hard to bounce back from. So we'll see, man. If our line holds up, I think it's our game. It just got to be smart. We can't get happy with just passing on these guys.
Yep. All right, welcome back. We got you online. Can you hear us?
And that's what I think of Mr. Titan, by the way.
All right. And that's all I have to say about that. Those Forrest Gump reference. So while you were gone, we had a couple predictions. We said Marcus said 24-21 Tennessee. You don't trust our coaches, and that's rightfully so. Dev had said 24-21 Washington. He thinks that we might win the turnover battle and we'll control the game.
Beat the Tennessee Trash Pandas, bro. That's
Trash
the motto
Pandas.
for today.
Aaron says 27-20 Commanders. We take advantage of their weaknesses and injuries. Just to confirm, you said 24-21 Tennessee, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Phil, what you got?
Ooh. This is such a tough. This has been a tough one because I feel like both teams are in the same predicament right now. Like both are falling short of expectations.
Really?
And
You think so?
yes.
What's the game you think on paper before the season started that we should have won that we didn't?
Detroit.
That's the only one though.
I thought we had a shot in Dallas and Philly. I'm still not particularly impressed by
Yeah,
Jalen.
I mean, I thought we had a chance, but I figured we probably would. I thought we'd be 2-2 at this point.
I thought we'd be 2-2 or 3-1. I did not see us being 1-3. But anyway, I mean, there's a big difference between those two at the beginning of the season. And I didn't think we would look as piss poor as we have on offense. Now, it's going to be a mid-scoring game. What's the over/under?
The over/under right now for this game is 43, which is kind of low.
I'll take the over, but not by much. 23-21. Good guys. Washington.
23-21 Washington. Okay.
Yes.
I guess that
Joey Slye hits 3 field goals.
Shit,
all
we
right.
ain't gonna let him try 3 field goals.
You don't think so?
He's only attempted 1 all year.
Well, we took one away because we got the first down.
Yeah. So I'm going 24-23 Tennessee. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a shootout. I just this team needs to show me something. I saw a little bit of it in week 1, and we're 1-3. They're 2-2. I mean, lost to New York, lost to Buffalo, beat Vegas, beat Indianapolis, teams they should have won. And I don't know. I just want to see more from this team, and it's hard for me to go otherwise. So I'm gonna go 24-23 Tennessee. We got a couple questions in there. So that leaves overall, we had of the people who left comments and us, we had 3 pick Tennessee and 3 pick the Commanders. So pretty even spread, not as biased as I thought it would be. Chris says, do we still stand by this coaching staff?
No, I'm good with it. I've said this before. I think Ron is cool. I think Ron is in a situation where he was brought in to change the culture and win. And I think to change the culture is the most important part of his job for him right now. Now, I think he has to start doing the second half of his job, which is winning. But I think the first half of his job was to change the culture. And you got to give him
year 3, bro.
plus on that. I get it. But I think that has bought him enough. I think it's bought him enough money in the bank. I think he's playing with house money at this point because he did such a well job with the culture change that he's going to get some slack. He's going to get his 5-year contract in, man. He might not make it 6 or an extension, but I think he's going to get his 5.
Right.
If Jay Gruden got his 5, I think he's going to get his 5, man.
So, Mr. Titan, how do you feel about Vrabel?
I mean, so he has moments. Okay, so he's players love to play for him. I understand that. There's sometimes where he makes some stubborn decisions, or he's just stubborn at all. I think it was like 2 years ago. We had his name was, but I think it was Cairo. It was a kicker. It was against the Bills, and he missed some field goals. He missed extra points, and Vrabel just kept on for I remember it was for the win too. It was like a 41-yarder, missed it completely, lost the game. Instead of going for it on 4th and 1, we ended up trying to kick the field goal. And I feel like his plays like that kind of shows how stubborn he is. I mean, don't get me wrong, he does. He's been our best coach we've had. I mean, you can compare it to Jeff Fisher. I mean, Jeff Fisher takes the team to the Super Bowl. I mean,
Coach 50-50 is what I call him.
Marcus said Ron Rivera is Jeff Fisher 2.0. I used to joke that
Coach 50-50.
Jeff Fisher should have been fired so many times
in
his career. He's the only dude I know that could go 8-8 for like 10 straight years and keep his job. When you have other coaches that come in and have a better record and they get fired after 2.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
what
don't
Jeff
know.
Fisher. I don't know what he
Yeah,
did or
nudes of somebody, man.
straight up. And the funny thing is about Jeff Fisher, when he was on the Rams, backstory, you might not know this. In 2012, coming into the draft, that was an Andrew Luck RG3 draft. The Browns offered the Rams for the number 2 pick a shit ton of capital. I'm talking a ton of stuff. And then the Redskins come out with our package of 2 1s, 2 future number 1s, swap 1s this year, and I forget what the rest of the package was. And Jeff Fisher accepts our deal and rejects Cleveland's deal because him and Mike Shanahan were boys. So we have some weird history with Jeff Fisher, but you kind of said it. He took you to a Super Bowl, but he was mediocre after that, right?
Yeah, you can't. So like,
Coach 50-50.
I know they had a couple of good seasons after that, but
yeah, they had again. They
It's at 50-50 every year, basically.
I mean, there was one
they
year.
had the 14, 15 win seasons in there too.
And we went. I mean, we got bounced out the first round against the Ravens. But I mean, hey, I mean, like I said, I'm not really too big on. Hey, we had a really good season, and then we get bounced out the first round. I feel like that's a bust. Like last year as well. Everyone's like, well, we won the AFC South. Well, it doesn't matter if you get bounced out the first round.
They were the number 1 seed last year, weren't they?
We had the clear road, and I was at that game. It's rough.
Yeah. How many Titans games have you been to, being that you're down in Texas?
Well, last year I went to like at least 6 or 7. I was in Nashville a lot last year.
That's awesome.
Year I was like I say like I have the home opener. I usually do I do my event. It's called the Mr. Titan event. I usually do in Nashville, in downtown, and it's almost like a pregame. It's a nice little just get everyone together. And then so I went to that game, went to the Buffalo game. I went to Houston. I usually try to do a Houston. I've been most of the time now. I'm really like appreciating going on the road games. I like the road games are a lot of fun. I have a group of friends that are going to Washington. I couldn't because I had to work, but it seemed like the road games are fun. Like I'm going to Lambeau this year. I mean, we probably won't win, but hey, it's Thursday night. It's Lambeau.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Packers are struggling though. You got a chance.
They don't have a lot of firepower.
Our boy Fred Brown says that's a hell of a fan wall Titans, dude.
Basically, you went to every home game.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, but Fred said, still gonna whoop that ass though. That's Fred for you.
Appreciate it though.
Marcus said, Steve McNair, rest in peace, was a beast. I have one more question for you. So you're a Titans fan from the Northeast living in Dallas.
Yeah.
With that perspective, it's kind of a strange perspective. It's lots of geographical separation from your team, where you were born and where you live now.
Mm-hmm.
What do people think of this team? Unbiased opinion, extra set of eyes. How do people view us, just like today?
So let me explain. I live in like 20 minutes away from, AT&T Stadium.
Yeah.
And you got Dallas fans. I mean, you got my brother-in-law. They're all my wife's family. They're all diehard Dallas fans. But, to be honest with you, they respect us a little bit more than they did when I first got here. Let me tell you, because it at first a lot of people just would say like, oh, Titan fans, this would be the normal, like, oh, you're a Titans fan, oh, how many Titans fans are there? Like you're like the first one. Now there's actually a little bit more that even when I say that I'm a Titans fan, they're like, oh, okay. They're not so negative towards me, and
right.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, I'm still going to roll with this team regardless. They can lose every single game. I guess what? I'll be there every game. And it's fun. Like I said, at the end of the day, like I made the channel just because I live in Dallas. There's no Titan fans here. I can kind of escape in my own channel where I can talk to Titan fans. And even though some of them are really biased or they freak out when I pick the other team. Like you can't pick against the other team. But it is what it is. I'm gonna be honest, and like I said it before. Like, well, the Colts might beat us, and they're like, "What? Are you kidding me? The Colts?" it is what it is. The way the team's playing, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm a Titans fan, but I'm not gonna pick them to win every game. It's not realistic.
Yeah, straight up.
Like,
yeah.
Some people, I mean, sometimes you lose followers, sometimes you do that, and it is what it is. Like I said, I'm going to be as real as possible. The only time I did, I went on when we played the Bills. I knew we were going to lose, but you know what? I was like, you know what? I'm going to make this interesting. I went on this guy named Bills Fanatics, cool YouTuber. And I'm like, hey, I went on a show. I mean, Bills Mafia was going nuts, roasted me, and I loved it. It was kind of fun. And I'm like, hey, let's make a bet. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, hey, if the Titans win, you got to jump through a table like Bills Mafia. And if we lose, I'll jump through a table. He's like, oh, I'll take that bet. Well, that was a shitty bet because we got their ass whooped. And I was like, you know what? 10 in the morning, I had a picnic table that was kind of dented. You know, my son was messing with it earlier. So I was like, you know what? Took it out. I filmed myself 10 in the morning. I drank a whole beer like Stone Cold Steve Austin, slapped him, and I jumped off from the ladder and I sent it to him, and he posted it on Bills Mafia. And to be honest with you, they were really impressed. And like I said, it's all fun and games, but damn, I didn't expect the game to be like that either, though. It destroyed us, but it's all good.
That's awesome. Well, I'm gonna flip.
Phil said he wants to do a bet like that with you too, man. Phil, he came on, he's like, that Mr. Titan likes to bet. I got all kinds of bets. He said he's down with something on the end. The more embarrassing, the better.
Behalf.
The more embarrassing, the better is what I heard him say.
Clapping titanium cheeks. I love the name, dude. I love the name. So my inverse to that question is same category. You being in Dallas right now, how do they view the Washington Commanders?
They take them as, for the most part that I've talked to. I have two friends. They're from DC, and most of these Dallas fans are really cocky, and they only see the Eagles as a threat. They only see the Giants as a threat, and but for the most part, I mean that's their opinion. That's how they feel. Again, it's a division, so I understand that's a little bit more personal. But at the same time, for the most part, there are a lot of cocky Dallas fans. I have actually. We don't play Dallas that much. I know we play them this year, but when they came down, it was like 3 or 4 years ago. I went to the game. I don't know if you see it right there. There's a little Dallas thing right there. You see the
see the star.
Towel? Yeah, so they gave those out when I went that Monday night, and we whooped their ass. And I have that. That's the only Dallas thing, but it's an X, and I have the score of the Titans, and I put it
nice.
So every time my brother-in-laws come in, they see it, and that stays right there in that corner, man.
That's what's up. If you get on another YouTube channel for Dallas preview this week, man, make sure you flash that on the screen. And
I'm looking for them.
Keep it up. Man, that's awesome. Hey, we're going to wind down here. We want to thank you for taking the time to come on Command This, man. We really appreciate you. I'm glad we could connect on Twitter. I'm looking forward to coming onto your channel and returning the love, man. So just give everyone real quick, where can people watching the show live or on the replay, where can they find all your stuff at, man?
So you can go just Mr. Titan. If you go on Twitter, it's Mr_Titan5. Same thing for Instagram, it's Mr. Titan5. Pretty easy to find too. Like you said, you can double check. Some of my interviews is where I'm probably most popular with having a lot of Titan players, and they have four other former players as well. Other than that, I have also kind of like a little segment called Titan Caves. It's like MTV Cribs. It's a bunch of Titan stuff. It's kind of cool. People kind of show out, their man caves, and then just double check and support, man. And I appreciate you guys having me on, man. This is like probably one of the best times doing this is interacting with other fans and other YouTubers that do this. Is cool because we all support our teams regardless. At the end of the day, we're just right here, supporting the team we love. So it's cool.
Right. And the second on that, man, we always end our show with shout outs, man. You got any shout outs before we close out?
Shout outs. Okay. Shout out to all the Titan fans that were in here. Bryce, thank you guys for showing up, man. I appreciate it. Again, Titan Nation, Titans are small. organization, small, fan base. But I mean, there's some loyal fans out there, man. So,
there's a lot of them here. Trust me, I see a lot of them here.
because they're right there, man. There's a little drive right there. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Jeff, let's go to you, man.
Whenever I see the whole tighten up ho, I always get a little kick.
Tighten up ho.
Shout outs, Dev. Go ahead.
Oh man, speaking of hoes, have you seen the Have you seen the Kevin Hart when he was on ESPN with that the player whose name is
Young Ho?
Young Fat Ho? No, it's called Fat Young Ho.
No.
Yeah, something like that. You a fat hoe or something like that, or it's hilarious.
The Atlanta kicker, young Ho Key or young.
No, it's like
not young way, not
Ho so
way,
fat. It's got Ho so fat or something like that.
No.
You fat hoe. That's what it's called. You fat
Okay.
hoes.
I have not. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, it's hilarious. But anyways, man, I want to give a shout out to my girlfriend. Today's her birthday.
Andrea.
40 years old, a hag. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to Tennessee and going to the festival for the Van Gogh Festival, and that should be fun. And also, same day, my son, Trey, happy birthday, turned 19 today. So, happy birthday to that guy. He is a Vikings fan, by the way. He's been down to Tennessee. We took him down there to watch Tennessee versus the Vikings a long time ago, man. He was a kid.
Nice. He's got Kirk now. So, Phil, what you got?
As always, shout out to my fan club on Twitter. Shout out to everybody who kind of took it down a notch after Tuesday in our fan base.
It was dark times.
It was. We all wanted to kill each other after the Dallas game for sure. But shout out to everybody who kept it to rational conversation. That would not include my fan club. And shout out to me getting a negative COVID test yesterday.
It's a cold. There you go.
It's just a cold.
I'll give a big shout out to Mr. Tight, man. Thank you for it was funny, the connection story. I followed you on Twitter. I was getting ready to message you, and all of a sudden, bam, he messaged me. Man, let's collab. I was like, that's what's up, man. I had to get this dude. So appreciate you coming on. And shout out to those who joined in: Aaron, Marcus, Clapping Titanium Cheeks, Fred Brown, Chris Blow, Yam in Japan, who only popped in for a hot second. Jimmy Lee Patterson, thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate you guys. And we may or may not be in spaces for Sunday pregame, but there's all kinds of Washington Twitter spaces going on. So if we're not in one, you can always jump in one. And the description, the link for Mr. Titan's YouTube page is down in the description on YouTube. I posted it. It's in the comments. It's actually in the description. So if you need it, it's there. Go sub them up, check it out. First thing that caught my eye was the Brian Orakpo interview. So I watched it and to hear his Kermit voice, and he liked his time as Washington, but he said Tennessee is home. So I was like, respect. I get it. It's cool.
He does sound like Kermit. I never realized that.
It does. Straight up.
Wow.
He does our pregame intros now for the hype video before the games.
Did you know that he's doing?
Orakpo's doing it for us now.
Really?
He is. Yeah, maybe he's a freelance. He's a freelance guy now.
Titans hero, man.
That's it. I'm about to drive to Austin.
We ain't friends no more.
Money talks.
Oh, one more shout out. Okay. Left hand up.
What's that? I don't get it.
Tighten up.
Come on, Steve. You seen the song?
No. Oh, we Commanders. Yeah, there's a fan hype video they got made, and it's kind of going viral. And I'm not the biggest fan of it.
Not for the best reasons.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched that video? Have you ever watched this thing called BET Uncut, Mr. Titan, back in the day?
No.
All right. Well, go on YouTube, and there's this video called "It's So Cold in the D." You ever heard of that?
No.
It's the most craptacular video. It's so horrible. It's great, right? It's the snakes on a plane of rap videos.
What's it called? So I can write it down.
It's So Cold in the D. It's about Detroit.
Okay.
Like it's a hood video. Like you could have used your ColecoVision camera. You could have shot one with your Wii camera, and it would have been better.
No, it can't be any worse than the karate rap.
Man, if you had your Texas Instrument calculator and use that as a camera for 8th grade. By the way, screw elementary schools for making us buy that expensive ass piece of shit.
It must have been Kentucky, man. We did not
Couldn't
have
make
to
up
buy
those big ass Texas Instruments calculators.
Yeah.
Man.
not till
I said
college
grabbed,
or high school.
I said grabbed, like you was gonna ever use graphing
You
again
had to
as an
buy
adult.
one.
They're expensive, man. They're
They were
expensive.
I had the
Man.
cheap solar calculator
Man.
that barely worked, the single joint. But
Man, I've been on Stephen Hawking if I had an iPhone back in fucking 6th grade.
oh, you ain't lying.
Shout
You
out to
ain't
Stephen
lying.
Hawking, by the way.
Yeah,
Rest
genius.
in peace.
All right, we shutting it down. Mr. Titan, thanks for joining us, man. And as always, thanks for tuning in. Peace. And
Thank you.
hey-o.
So
I know.